It's MC Flawless, spreading peace and love, coming at you live from YouTube. And today I have a very special guest with me, Minnie Boo. So Minnie Boo is my special needs puppy that I told you guys about in the last video. She is the cutest puppy in the world and I love her very much. And today we'll be talking about her story, where she came from, and how she's doing now. I also have my other dog with me, Zephyr, who is a 8-year-old Westie mix. He's sleeping actually right over here off camera, because he's a grumpy old man and he doesn't really want to be on camera right now. He just kind of feels like chilling. So I'll show you guys him at the end of the video, and yeah, you'll get to see my little old man. But until then, we are going to take a minute and talk about this little one right here. So Minnie is right now she's 4 months old, but her life started at a place where unfortunately she was the product of a puppy mill. And so she didn't get a great start in life. She came to the hospital twice, because of an umbilical hernia, which is when bulge will form right in the umbilicus or in the belly button of a puppy. I know. And it was right about here, and she had to get it surgically removed. Because the hernia can be very painful, so it obviously has to be surgically removed so it doesn't hurt the puppy anymore. So she had that surgically removed, and she was great after surgery, and she was able to run around and play and was able to keep up with all the other puppies, even though they were all twice her size. When I first saw her, she was literally the same size as my hand, and that's actually where she got her name from, because one of the people that I work with, we saw her and we thought she was so cute, and we're like, she's so Minnie and she's so small, and that's where she got her name. So we named her Minnie because of her size. And yeah, so we saw her coming for that, and then she came back in about a week later for because she went into hypoglycemic shock, which is not good when it happens. And you're okay, I know. She wants to play with her brother, but her brother's on the floor and he's sleeping, so I know that. But she came in and was battling hypoglycemia. She couldn't eat. She didn't want to eat. And it's not so much that she couldn't eat, it's just she didn't have a desire to eat at all. She wasn't trying to take anything in, wasn't eating, wasn't drinking, and just wasn't doing good, was hooked up to IV fluid. And so, you know, she was there for a while, and when we walk up to her crate before that, she would run around, she would be energetic, she would play, she would jump up on the crate door and want to come out and play with you. And when she was in hypoglycemic shock, she just didn't want to do anything. She was almost like lifeless, and it just broke my heart. And when I saw that, I was like, I gotta take her home. And it almost, at some points, I would look at her and I would be like, it doesn't even look like she's gonna make it. And so I wanted to be able to bring her home, and however long she was with us, just give her a great life. And so I got in contact with people I needed to get in contact with, and I brought her home. When I brought her home, she was 6 weeks old and only weighed 0.6 ounces, and so I got her to eat, and overnight she went from weighing 0.6 ounces to 1.3 pounds, so she gained 0.7 ounces overnight. And the very next day after I brought her home, I took her to her first vet checkup, so her first doctor's appointment, and they discovered, I already knew about the hernia and the hypoglycemia, but they discovered during the first vet check that she had in her back right knee, so in this leg right here, that she had a slight luxating patella. And a luxating patella is when the kneecap moves and pops on and off in the leg when the dog is walking, or if you have a cat, when the cat is walking. And so hers, hence the name slight luxating patella, only pops off slightly. So the doctors think that she may grow out of it, so with proper exercise, food, eating properly and whatnot. But more likely than not, she'll either have to have it dealt with medication, so pain meds if it's giving her a lot of pain and it's hurting, or surgically. And that surgery can be very expensive. So we're hoping, that Mother Nature will kind of take care of itself, and that she'll be able to, you're okay, and that she'll be able to grow out of it. But right now she's managing it pretty well, and she's doing pretty good. And then fast forward to when she was 3 months old, and I started to notice that she was shaking a lot. And at first, I looked at the symptoms of hypoglycemia because I know that she's hypoglycemic, and one of those symptoms is tremors. Some of the other symptoms are lethargy, lack of a desire to eat, and many other things. And so I was like, okay, she's got medication for her hypoglycemia. It's a little paste-like gel. I can put it on a spoon or something, and she'll eat that, and that'll help kind of regulate her glucose levels. It'll help keep her hypoglycemia in check. Obviously, if her hypoglycemia worsens, we then take her into the hospital to get looked at. So I was, trying to feed her more, like an extra cup or 2 a day, and she eats about 2 cups a day. When I first brought her home, she ate about 1.5 cups. So I was trying to give her more food. She still eats 4 times a day. So I was like, okay, give her medication, maybe, have her eat more, maybe that'll help. And the shakiness was still happening. And so I looked through the different, symptoms of hypoglycemia, and, one of the things that was on there said seizures, and right next to that in parentheses it said rare. So I was like, okay, it's a rare symptom, maybe she won't have it. And in the course of 1 week, she actually had 15 seizures, 1-5. And so I didn't realize what I knew what seizures were, I knew what they looked like, but I've never had that experience with my own dogs, so I didn't know specifically what symptoms to look for. And because seizures can be brought on by hypoglycemia, I thought, okay, if I give her you're okay, you're all right. I thought if I give her hypoglycemia medication that, and feed her more, that, it would help, manage that. But the last seizure that she had before we brought her to the doctor and got her on meds for her epilepsy, was I had her on a potty training pad because we're still housebreaking her. You looking for your bro? He's over there. She's still being housebroken. So I had her on a potty training pad, and I asked her to go to the bathroom. And she, all of a sudden, her whole body just got stiff, just stiff as a board, and then the front half of her, so from like about here up, just dropped. Her legs gave out, her head dropped, and I had to catch her head so it didn't smack on the floor, and her eyes glossed over. They were completely glossy. And she had a seizure that lasted 1 minute long. And it was after that I'm like, okay, after doing the process of elimination, I'm like, I'm 99.9% sure you just had a seizure. And after she had the seizure, it took her 30 seconds to recover. And the first 15 seconds, she was looking around. She had no idea where she was. She looked at me and was completely scared because she didn't recognize who I was. And her whole body was shaking. And you could tell she wanted to run away, but because she had lost control of her body, like the back half of her was stiff while she was having a seizure, and the front half was shaking. So she has what's known as partial seizures right now. She doesn't have grand mal seizures. She has partial seizures. Obviously, those seizures could progressively get worse if we hadn't put her on medication, because they could go from being partial seizures to grand mal seizures. So what partial seizures means is that part of the body is affected, part of the brain is affected when that happens. So she was very scared, very confused, was looking around trying to figure out where she was, what was going on. She then looked down the hallway and saw her brother and was like, oh, wait a minute, I recognize him. Okay, I think I know where I'm at. Then she looked back at me and was like, she looked like a deer in the headlights. But then, she looked back at me. In the last 15 seconds, she recognized who I was. And I, held her up like this and allowed her to get her footing and to be able to kind of gain ground and recover from that. And so the very next day, we brought her in, and they did a bunch of blood tests and other things like that. And they thought it may be an issue with her liver, because she could have something on her liver, or like a high, because one of the tests came back saying that she had high enzyme levels, and enzymes are often found in the liver, so they thought it may be an issue with that. So they did a bunch of tests, and they discovered, all the tests came back negative. So what's good is she doesn't have any problems with her liver. Her red blood cell count came back a little low, which means that she's possibly anemic, and we just have to keep up with feeding her and giving her enough water throughout the day so that we can manage those the red blood cell count. And just obviously keep an eye on that with, frequent blood tests when she, goes to the vet, because you're supposed to, just like people, when you're supposed to get your blood tested to make sure everything's going well, you do the same thing annually with pets as well. So, we keep an eye on that way, but what's good is she doesn't have any problems with her liver. What's bad is we still don't know what's causing her epilepsy. We don't know what is the core reason that she's still having seizures, but because she had 15 episodes, 15 seizures in 1 week, and so we told the doctor that, and they got her started on anti-seizure medication. We switched her to a low-protein diet, because sometimes a high-protein diet can also be the cause of some seizures in dogs and cats. And so we have her on a low-protein diet now, and we have her on anti-seizure medication, which she has every day, to help take care of that. And so now she's doing well. I know, are you saying hi? And she's, her seizures are doing better. She's not having them every day anymore. They used to last every day, and they used to be about a minute long. Now they're happening every few days, and they're only about 15 to 30 seconds long, so it's literally cut in half, which is good. Unfortunately, she does still have them, like I said, but they're not happening as frequently, so they're being managed well now that she's on medication for it. So, and it was just like, I felt so bad when I first, because I knew that she was going to be a special needs puppy, being that she had all these things happening with her, but it just broke my heart that within the first 3 months, she had a hernia removed. She went into hypoglycemic shock, and hypoglycemia doesn't have a cure, so she's going to be hypoglycemic for the rest of her life. She's got a luxating patella. You're okay. I know you want to play with your brother, but he's sleeping. She's got a luxating patella that will have to be dealt with at some point with medication or surgery, and she's also epileptic. And it made me cry. It broke my heart. It just made me so sad. I'm like, she got dealt these cards in life that were just not, they didn't play in her favor. And so I was like, okay, because epilepsy can sometimes, if she has what's called cluster seizures, which is when multiple seizures happen in succession and they don't stop, or they have very short breaks in between, that can often be fatal. And if she goes into hypoglycemic shock again, that too sometimes can have a fatal outcome. So she's got two things that have the potential to shorten her life. And so it just made me cry. It broke my heart. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? How am I going to do this? And I just stopped and I said, okay, she's a special needs puppy, so what do I do to make sure that each and every single day of her life, you're okay, it's great. What do I do? What do I do? And so what I decided to do was I was going to make each and every single day a fantastic adventure for her, so much fun. I was going to spoil the daylights out of her. I was going to give her everything in the world, and I was going to make sure that every day was better than the last, so that, God forbid, one of these things, takes her life too soon. She can always remember that she had a great life, and she had tons of fun with her brother and with me, and that her life was as good as it could possibly be. And I definitely encourage you all to, if you are thinking about adopting any dogs or cats, definitely look at the dogs and cats with special needs. And I understand that it can sometimes be intimidating to adopt a dog or a cat with special needs just because there is a lot involved. Medically, it can be expensive, but they are such great dogs, and they can give you just as much love and energy. Yes. Are you talking? Are you talking? Just as much love and energy and affection as any other dog. This one now is 4 months old. She is a little Havanese mix. We're not quite sure what else she's mixed with, but we do know it's Havanese and something else. She is now 7 pounds. We think that's as big as she's going to get. She's probably not going to get much bigger than this. And she's doing great. Her epilepsy is doing better each and every single day. We are still managing her hypoglycemia. I'm keeping an eye on her knee, so right now she doesn't have any issues with it. She's not going to need any medication for it right now, so it's just really a matter of keeping an eye on it and making sure that it doesn't bother her. When it does, I do note that, and I do bring it up to the vets, when we talk about it, and so they keep an eye on it. We check it frequently, so we make sure she's doing good with that. And she's gained lots and lots of weight. She's gotten so much bigger and so much better. I honestly didn't think she was going to get this big. I thought maybe she was going to get to about 4 or 5 pounds, and she's gained so much weight and so much energy. She's also currently chewing on my fingers because she's teething, because her baby teeth are falling out. She's got her big girl teeth coming in, so no biting my fingers. So she's currently teething at the moment, but she's doing great, running around the house, chasing her brother. Her brother absolutely adores her. And if ever she has a seizure, Zephyr will run straight to her side and just sit next to her and give her lots of love and tell her that it's okay. So he keeps an eye on her. I can say, "Where's Minnie?" and he'll run straight to her. So he absolutely loves her, and he's such a great big brother with her. And so she's doing absolutely great now. I take her on walks every day, multiple times a day. She can't go too far right now. I know, but you're going to go farther, right? Yeah, I'm going to go farther. Yes, I am. Right now we can take her about half a mile before her back right knee starts giving her problems, and she'll stop using her back right leg if it hurts. So we have to it's like a judgment call. It depends on the day. Some days she's really, really good with it, and she can go for longer walks. Other days she can only go about half a mile, and then we have to stop. So it's just, really a matter of keeping an eye on it, taking her on walks every day so her leg continues to get stronger and she continues to do better. I know, it's okay. I know you want to get down and play with your brother. He's currently walking across the floor right now and stretching because he's tired. So, yeah, she's doing great. And I wanted to share her story because I wanted to, tell her story to inspire people. I know how hard it can be having a special needs animal and how it can be, exhausting. It can be sad, but it can also be a great source of strength, which was my word of inspiration for the Monday video. Because she just, every time I'm having a hard day, I'm like, I look at her and she's the reason that I get up every morning. I'm like, you know what, she's got all this stuff going on in her life. She's been through so much, and yet she's still able to wake up and kick the world straight in the behind every single day and just go forth and just do it, and so I know. See, I'm such a great puppy. So she's so amazing. I love her so much. So I wanted to share her story of inspiration to anybody out there who has a special needs puppy or a cat or anyone who's thinking about adopting a special needs dog. It's so beneficial. It's so worthwhile. They give you just as much love and affection, and they can do great. And as long as you keep up with everything that needs their extra attention, they'll do great. So Minnie says hi. She's a 4-month-old baby. She's a Havanese mix, and she's doing fantastic. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please Minnie say like, comment, and subscribe. My videos are posted every Monday and Friday. Mondays are Inspiration Mondays, and Fridays are Paws on Fridays because of these furry babies right here. So thank you so much for watching. Please share this video, and I will see you guys on Monday. Bye! Oh, and always, please, be nice. It'll save a life. And before we go, I will show you my other furry baby, little Zephyr. Because Zephyr is my 8-year-old Westie mix. And he's right there. And he's with his sister. Okay, say bye, guys. Bye-bye.